Hi everyone, I got my hands into, or onto, a pair of heated gloves. I'm getting ahead of the game for winter. Now, whilst these are extremely affordable, let's find out if they're any good. Welcome aboard, folks. First things first, let's switch on the gloves. You hold down the power button for 3 seconds, and that comes up onto the maximum powering, which is the red. I shall do the same on this one. Excellent. And if you single tap each glove, that's a medium-high heat, the purple one. The green is a medium heat, and that's the very low heat, which is lovely, actually. I've had these gloves for 6 weeks now. I'll put them back onto maximum, but I have used the very low heat just at the tail end of the summer there when I was riding around, and it's just gorgeous just to keep, especially on an evening time. So everybody's under the misconception you only need heated gloves in the winter. Wrong. When I was using the low heat on the summer evenings there, it made for a very pleasant ride. Okay, let's take off, and I shall explain more about the gloves. These motorcycle heated gloves and even the storage bag are made entirely of recycled materials, if you're into that sort of thing. The first thing you're going to want to know is the cost, and for this version, which is the AXE01H, which apparently is the waterproof heated glove model, they are only €130, which is about the third of the price of a premium brand like Alpine Stars. And even better than that, I've secured a further 10% discount for my subscribers with this code WGTV10 applied at the checkout. Check out their website for the full list of specs at IRONJIAS.com. During the course of this video, I'll be carrying out a temperature test and also a waterproof test, albeit not the conventional way. The gloves come with a mains charger, but you'll need to buy an EU adapter from Amazon, as it's a 2-pin plug and also a car charger type adapter, which not a lot of bikes have, but funny enough, my GS does. A full charge lasts me nearly 4 hours on full heat and nearly 7 hours on the lowest setting, which is very impressive and again rivals premium brands. It also has a touchscreen finger, so you can still access your phone without taking the gloves off. Don't be fooled by this gorgeous afternoon here in Ireland. It's still very, very cold. It's only 4 degrees Celsius. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit, but it's very chilly. I was going to wait until the sort of really poor weather arrives, sort of like in another month's time. But what's the point? You want to get ready and prepped for the winter riding season, so you can get ahead of the game and get yourself a pair of heated gloves, which is why I'm making this video. So I know everybody thinks, like I just mentioned there, you should only be using heated gloves in the winter. So let me explain first of all. Like the video says, these are the IRONJIAS gloves, okay? First of all, you might remember a bag I reviewed, one of those 50-litre cargo bags back in the summer for motorbikes. Well, so impressed was I with that product, I reached out to the company and they very kindly sent me these to review. Now, as I say to every company who sends me stuff, if I don't like it, I'm still going to say it. And IRONJIAS are very, very happy with that understanding. However, like I say, I've had the gloves for 6 weeks now, okay? I'm just going to stop here, because the last time I rode over it, a subscriber very quickly pointed out that I didn't stop. Okay, where were we? Yeah, so I've had these 6 weeks. I can't see any point of doing the sort of first ride review with a pair of gloves. You have to sort of test them out first. And if I really didn't like them, I would have sent them back to the company. However, first, my first thoughts, my thoughts over the last 6 weeks now, I've been out 4 or 5 times with them now, in different types of weather, and yeah, I'm blown away by them, okay? There is a couple of little niggles with them, all saying that, and I shall tell you that as well. So first of all, as you can see, I'm on the BMW bike, okay? And as you will also know, the BMW has heated grips. That's another huge misconception about heated gloves. everybody thinks you only need heated gloves. Well, not everybody, but a lot of people, including myself at one stage, thinks you only need heated gloves if you haven't got heated grips. Wrong. Again, what it does do, because the element in these heated gloves, well, like many heated gloves, is on the top of the hand here, which means ultimately it's the top of your hand which is going to take in the heat, which is only right because that's what sort of suffers the force of the wind and the elements. But when you have heated grips as well, I can't tell you, it just makes for such, a very, very comfortable ride out, especially in about a month's time. Like I say, when the winter arrives, I have no doubt I'll be a lot more comfortable than I was last year without heated gloves. I've always been put off by the price of heated gloves. I'll come on to that in a moment, but let me explain. So, within these gloves, there is a carbon fiber element called a carbon fiber nanotube, and it is that which transfers the heat right throughout the gloves. Now, I remember years ago when electric gloves or heated gloves first came out, and I got myself a pair, and you could feel the wires running down the length of your fingers. I don't know if you can remember them, folks, but the wires were literally running down the length of your fingers. It was bloody awful. And the heat never seemed to transfer very far away from the wire, so part of your hands would be hot, the other parts would be cold, and I just thought it was a waste of time, and that's another reason I sort of stayed clear of heated gloves. However, technology moves on. Sorry, just slowing down all this crap on the road here. Technology moves on, and it certainly has with these IRONJIAS heated gloves. There's a couple of tests I've done, again, because the weather isn't quite cold enough, so I shall come to them in a moment. But first impressions, let's talk about the fit of them first, okay? I'd love to say they fit like a glove, but that's that's far too obvious. And in fact, it's not quite correct. I'm an XL in all my gloves, and these are slightly on the smaller side. They still fit perfectly, but there's not a lot of wiggle room. Now, in many ways, that's a good thing, because I have gloves where the ends of the fingers are like half an inch longer than I would like them to be. So in many ways, I suppose these are a perfect fit. But what I would say to you folks is, if you're filling out existing gloves which you already ride in, and let's say you're an XL for instance, and you're sort of at the top of the gloves, if I was you, I'd get a bigger size. They're just slightly small on the fitting. What's the next thing I want to say? Oh yeah, I do love these. You see the little wipers, which many gloves have these days, but all of the gloves that I own, and premium brands as well, they only have them on one finger for some reason. Don't know why. Anyway, the wipers are on both fingers, so it's very handy for me to wipe the camera lens during the rain, as well as the visor, obviously. What I love about the fit of the gloves is that whilst you have all of the protection on the knuckles there, you can see it's very hard plastic. Everything, well, I'll show you the movement of my hand, like everything is very movable, almost like a pair of summer gloves. I don't feel restricted or inhibited at all with my hand movements, which I love. One of my little niggles, if I'm really splitting hairs here, I'd love the cuffs to be slightly longer, just to go over my jackets a little bit more, slightly longer and slightly wider actually. But saying that, they do open up quite a bit, maybe, so I just need to spend a little bit more time doing that. But yeah, slightly, literally an inch longer would have been perfect for me. And listen, that's just me, okay? But the gloves themselves fit great. I love the soft silicone on the palms here. I don't know if the camera can pick that up. It's very sticky, which gives you a great grip. And I've ridden 3 different bikes now with these gloves, and it gives you a great grip on any handlebar, or any handle grip, rather. And what's the other thing I wanted to point out? Oh yeah, I think it's time to go to a couple of little tests I did before I rabbit on any further. Let's go first of all to the temperature test. A little bit of ingenuity involved here. And for the first time ever, Really Good TV ventures inside the kitchen. Why is that, I hear you ask? Because there's a fridge. Oh yeah. Okay, here's the real test. After 1 hour, absolutely toasty, piping hot. Right, time to get it back in. Okay, 2 hours. Let's see what's happening now. Wow, still really, really hot, toasty. What's the fridge? 0 degrees? Okay, back in. Okay, 3 hours test. The lights are still on red, so still on maximum heat, and they're still really hot. In fact, I don't think the heat has degraded in 3 hours. Really toasty, and they've been stuck in there. Now this is impressive. Okay, I'm going to have to try and catch it out now, otherwise I'll be here all day. I have an idea. Time for the freezer. Why not? Okay, the gloves have been in the fridge for 3 hours at 0 degrees, and I've just taken them out of the freezer now after half an hour at minus 24 degrees. And they are freezing to the touch on the outside. Let's see what they feel on the inside. You'll just have to take my word for this, folks. They're piping hot. Still piping hot. Right, I feel as though I could climb Everest with these on now. Okay, so forgive me, I just didn't have the bad weather to carry out tests like that. So obviously it's not a true world test, but it does give you a good idea of how it would survive in very, very cold temperatures. Okay, moving swiftly on, I now want to I want to see how waterproof they are, of course, because let's face it, as well as the temperature, the next thing when you're riding a motorbike is being waterproof, because there's nothing like having soggy hands when you're riding along, especially in the winter. So I came up with, well, quite a simple test for the waterproof test. Here we go. Now the gloves claim that they're waterproof heated gloves. So, without further ado, let's put that to the test as well. Don't worry, we transferred all of the fish into another tank, so no fish were harmed in the making of this video. So I'm going to leave the gloves in there for half an hour, pull the lid over. I've left them switched on as well because, well, why not? Oh, we missed a fish, sorry. We missed a fish. Okay, so here is the ultimate waterproof test after half an hour of being in a fish tank. And again, you'll have to take my word for it. Bone dry. Dripping on the outside, bone dry on the inside. Seriously impressive. I'm back aboard the bike. I've turned my heated grips on now as well. The BMW heated grips are actually the hottest heated grips that I've ever ridden with. In fact, in the summer they're too hot. You can barely touch them with well, you can't touch them with your bare hands for risk of being burnt. They're so hot. So I have turned the heated grips now down. No, I haven't, but I will do now. Down onto number 1. So it's just the lowest level of heated grips coming through, and I still have the gloves on the highest level of heat. So it's beautiful and toasty. All I need now is a heated seat, and then I could ride all day long. Super, super impressed with these heated gloves. superb product as well. We'll see if this stand the test of time. If you're not a subscriber to the channel, then become one, because I'll be wearing these gloves a lot, especially over the winter months and into next year as well. And I'll tell you how they're standing up, how they're performing, and I'll tell you also, again, like I keep saying, I always pride myself that I'm 100% transparent, so anything I'm not happy with as well, you'll be the first to know. Folks, thanks again for coming along. I hope you enjoyed this glove review. Stay toasty over those winter months. Of course, I'll be speaking to you before then. but thanks again for tuning in. If you're not a member, become one, or a subscriber, I should say. Become one. Dave Perry, Really Good TV. Have a great week, everybody. Ride safe. Over and out.